to the entertaining Talkin' Sports.
What is going on, football fans? Back at it with another New York Giants video. And in this video, I'm going to recap the game that I just streamed on Bad Dogs channel between the Green Bay Packers and the New York Giants. The Giants now drop to 2-10 as this horror show of a season continues. Now, in terms of good news, well, there's not much on the field today. As I'm making this video, there seems to be a lot of upsets that may be taking place that may help the draft position. Not that we really need the help. The Giants now have dropped 8 straight after starting 2-2. And in this game, well, it was not that close. The Giants started out decent, I thought, in the first half. Daniel Jones was making a lot of good throws, tight window throws early on in the first half. Barkley, I thought, looked as good as he's looked since before the injury. He was running really hard, had one really nice long run, but he was consistent, didn't have a lot of negative carries. He finished with 19 for 83, but he was definitely running hard. He had a really good block at one point in the game as well, as Jalapeno continues to get smoked up the middle. Jalapeo's blocking in this game was abysmal. Darius Smith got constant pressure. Nate Solder continues to struggle on the tackle position, and the Giants as a whole just were really bad on both sides of the football. Daniel Jones for the game, of course, threw 3 interceptions. The last one I'm not going to get on him for. You're trying to make something happen. You're down late in the game. The first one was a horrible throw. Continues to struggle against the cover 2. Threw it short. I can't remember what wide receiver he was throwing to, but it was a bad throw. And Jones did not play well today, even though it was in the snow. First half, though, like I said, he looked pretty good, trying to remain optimistic. Made a lot of good throws, specifically on the first couple of drives. Darius Slayton had a decent game. Caden Smith had a really good game. The backup tight end who's starting to get more burn due to the Evan Ingram injury at 6 catches, 70 yards. But other than that, our defense was as bad as it gets. I guess Julian Love had a decent game again. I know he had a strip, the fumble went out of bounds, but did a good job stripping the ball out of the receiver's hands. So I guess he had a pretty good game. I thought that Ogletree, who I like to rag on a lot, actually played pretty well in this game, was getting home on some of those blitzes. But as a whole, this defense, awful. Awful. I'm not going to point out any individuals. Janoris Jenkins played pretty good. He had good coverage on a couple of plays that I'm remembering off the top of my head. There was one play where Rodgers tried to hit a man in the corner of the end zone, and Jenkins had good coverage. But on one drive, and this was the game. I think it was the third quarter. The Giants had him 3rd and 13. They convert. They had him 4th and 10 from the 35, and they go for it. That tells you all you need to know about this Giants defense. The Packers thought that they had a better chance at converting a 4th and 10 in the snow than kicking a 52-yard field goal or punting to flip the field position. They go for it on 4th and 10, and they convert. And then 3rd and goal from the 17, and Rodgers throws a touchdown. Rodgers ends the day with 4 touchdowns, 243 yards, no interceptions. Giants didn't do much. They didn't come up with a sack in this game. Just a horrible performance, and they continue to take advantage of us in the slot. Same thing as last week. We got killed in the slot last week, and it was the same thing here. Devontae Adams was lining up in the slot the entire game. Their best wide receiver. It was clearly evident, in my opinion, that the Packers looked at the game film and saw that we've really struggled, at guarding wide receivers in the slot. They were able to do whatever they wanted. The run defense was okay. We held them to 3 yards a carry, but our 3rd and long defense continues to be abysmal. Weren't able to come up with any turnovers, and Aaron Rodgers did what he had to do. Anytime it was a 3rd and long situation, he was able to convert. Just like it seems to be that way pretty much every game this year. This defense is really bad. The offensive line is really bad, and we have a lot to work on in this offseason. Luckily, we have a lot of cap space, and we're going to have a really high draft pick. Everybody that's around us, while I'm making this video, seems like they're going to win. The Dolphins are beating the Eagles. The Redskins, I think, were winning last I checked. So the Giants are going to have a top 2 or 3 pick, and maybe they will get Chase Young. We'll have to wait and see, and he will certainly help. If we have Chase Young on this team, they're not going for it on 4th and 10. We need that pass rusher. That's clearly evident, but we have a lot more holes than that. Our secondary is really bad. Our offensive line is really bad. Those are our 2 biggest areas of need, and what we're going to need to focus on in free agency and the draft. We got 4 weeks to go, and hopefully next week the Giants come out. I don't want to lose to the Eagles. I don't. I would love to have an opportunity to end their season next week. We probably won't. We're not playing well, but neither are they. They're losing to the Dolphins in Miami. So if we can ever knock them out next week, I guess we have that to look forward to on Monday Night Football. That would be, that's our Super Bowl, really. I mean, the Eagles are 5-7, Cowboys are 6-6. You have a chance to really end their season next week with a loss here to the Dolphins if this holds. So at least we have that to look forward to as Giants fans. But this team is far away. Much further away than I thought they'd be at the start of the season. I didn't think they'd be good, but I didn't think they'd be this bad. I thought the offensive line would be much better. Daniel Jones, he's hit or miss. I'm not gonna rag too much on Daniel Jones. It was in the snow. He was forced to throw, but he didn't look great in this game. He just didn't. Saquon Barkley at least got back to form, it seems. He played pretty well, even though he was going up against a horrible run defense. So I don't know how much stock you want to put into that. But he was running hard with the head down. He was running tough. So I guess that. Pat Shurmur, I'm getting sick of defending him. I love stability. I do. I think it's important, especially with a young quarterback and a young football team, that you don't want to change that playbook. But it's hard to defend Pat Shurmur. Now, Pat Shurmur, I can't really kill him. The defense played awful in this game. He's an offensive guy. The defense played awful. That's why we lost the game. And, some of the play calling, I guess you could get on him for. But he's not a good coach. And I do think that Pat Shurmur's running out of lives. And I do think if you ask me right now, I'd say he's probably going to be replaced at the end of the year. Betcher's definitely going to be replaced. And what we got to look forward to is hopefully we play tough down the stretch. Defense just, there's no one really positive to talk about. Like I said, I was trying to look for positive. Julian Love, I guess that's the best I could come up with. He played, he had a great open field tackle. I remember Haley had a good open field tackle. There were bits and pieces, but overall the defense continues to struggle mightily. And now, if we're being fair, it's a game we shouldn't have expected to win, but I thought we'd play better than this. This was might have been our worst played game of the year, 31-13, and we couldn't get anything going. Turned the ball over 3 times through the air, and guys, at least there's only 4 more weeks left, and we got 2 Eagle games to look forward to. Maybe we could end their season, and then we got the draft and free agency and a lot of cap space. And I had a guy in the stream today watching the game, with Bad Dog, saying, why should I root for this team? If you're a Giants fan, what do you mean, why should you root for this team? You got to root for this team. You love this team. You love the team like they're your child. And I watch them every week, and, I hope that they improve and get better, and they'll have, hopefully next year we get better, and it's tough right now, though. I'm not going to tell you it's not. This is part of rooting for a football team. I'm rooting for a sports team. I go through it all the time with the Knicks and the Mets. You go through the tough times so you appreciate it when it gets good, and it will get good eventually. I can't tell you when. I hope it's next year, but it might not be for a few years. It might not be for 4 or 5 years. Who knows? But we just got to keep rooting for the team and hope they make the right decisions. Dave Gettleman, I've started to turn on Gettleman. I don't hate Gettleman. I like some of the things he does. I like his philosophy, and I don't think he'll be fired. But Gettleman needs to take some blame too. This can't all be put on Pat Shurmur. It's a collective effort. Dave Gettleman hired Pat Shurmur. Dave Gettleman made some questionable decisions. This defense is not clicking. He's got probably 1 more year to prove that he knows what he's doing, but he's running out of lives too. So we'll see how it all plays out next week when they play the Eagles, and hopefully there's some improvement. Hopefully Daniel Jones gives us something to look forward to going forward. But this was probably his worst game as a Giant. It's up there. And just a bad loss today. And I try to be positive, guys, but just hope it gets better next week. But the Giants are a bad football team right now. They're a really bad football team. They're the worst team in football right now. The Bengals are beating the Jets. We couldn't beat the Jets. So 2-10, 4 games to play, and we're looking at a high draft pick. That's the positive to take, and we have cap space. But in terms of the players on this team, there's not many that I think will be here when this team gets really good. But we'll have to wait and see how it all plays out. As always, if you liked what you watched, please subscribe, drop a comment, maybe give me a little thumbs up. Cheers.